Hey TJ, how are you?
Hey, buddy, how's it going?
I'm doing good, man. I'm sitting here walking around, like just like talking to myself, like just rehearsing. I'm like, oh shit, it's 10:58.
It's time. Right. Nah, you're good, man. So you're good. So we got about 8 people on with us, and we're getting ready to go live here in the MLO net.
Sweet.
But we appreciate you joining here. So you have to excuse me because I'm using Fish wanted me to use his logins for all of this in his Zoom so he can get it all recorded. So I just got to make sure that see how he's got this all set up in here. So
No, you're cool. I'm gonna grab a water. Give me that.
hey man, knock yourself out.
120. Should I close one of these blinds or turn my top lights on? Is my lighting weird?
You're good, buddy. You're good. So, and we are live in MLO Network. So, welcome everyone to the Survivor Series. So, TJ Barker here, tagging in for Fish, who is off to Dallas for his VMA event. So, old friend Alec Conrad here, joining us on Survivor Series. As always, what we're doing today, Alec, 10, 15 minutes talking about what you're doing today in the business in this crazy environment that we're in, right? Like nothing that most of us have ever seen. So I went through the subprime meltdown. I still have nightmares about that. Like I don't feel like it's the same, but this is definitely one of the most challenging markets I've been a part of. But we do have MLO net members who are, surviving. They are, some of them are growing, not many. Some of them are fighting hard to stay afloat. And that's what this series is all about, taking some folks here such as yourself, who are doing different things in their business, and just sharing that with the community. So my man, thank you so much for joining us. Do me a favor, just kind of tell the MLO Net community a little bit about who you are and what you've been doing the last couple of years.
Okay, yeah. Thanks, DJ and Fish, for having me on. It's funny you said old friend. God, it's been like a couple of years, hasn't it? Since like Leeds Academy, like literally like 3 years. But for everybody who doesn't know who I am, oh, go ahead.
No, it's been like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. Well, for anybody who doesn't know who I am, I'm Alec Conrad. I'm a loan officer here in Charlotte, North Carolina. 2022 will be my 4th year in the business. And I come from a whole different background. I mean, I come from mergers and acquisitions and business intelligence and data and stuff. So sales and mortgages is, kind of really a big change for me in terms of what I've been doing my entire life. But I did 16.8 million in 2020. 23 million last year. I was on track for 25, 30 million this year. And then my whole pipeline just kind of went out from underneath me, just like everybody else. I switched companies. And so we're rebuilding the pipeline. And so really, I'm using this as an opportunity to sort of like start from scratch in terms of like how I'm, branding myself and marketing myself. And so when I saw you guys talking about the Survivor Series, I felt so inclined to reach out because honestly, the last 5 or 6 weeks, I basically started over from scratch in terms of how I'm planning to reach out to people. And I'm in the Charlotte market where, 1 out of 4 people buy new home construction. And there's an in-house lender, which might be part of the seller, or it might be just an affiliated company where they offer, $10,000, $20,000 in seller concessions. And we lose that business. It's just gone, And I just have to plan into my business where I have enough incoming volume and I have enough referrals and a wide enough base where, 1 out of 4 deals I just lose. Not even like, I can't even compete. Maybe I can refinance them next year or something, but really it's just nothing that I can really keep.
So you're just putting that into your business model. You recognize that due to the environment that you work in, the competition that you're dealing with, 1 out of 4, 25% is going to drop.
Yep. And I keep the doors open. I'm not burning bridges. I'm graceful in defeat. I text them on the day of closing, guys, congratulations. I hope you love your new home. I'm going to stay in touch with you guys, next year when it's time to refinance, I'm going to call you, stuff like that. So I'm graceful in defeat. But it's so funny that I feel like I'm truly both being offensive and reaching out to new realtors and deepening relationships, but I feel like I'm actually defensive because for the first time in a long time, my realtors are being prospected so heavily by other loan officers that they're texting me screenshots of text messages and emails and like, hey, Jim Bob from Mortgage Right called me. They're offering to pay for a 2-1 buy down for all their clients. How can they do that? And I'm like, what? You know what? That's crazy, right? And so what I've really been very, very, very methodical about the last 8 weeks or so has been truly being proactive with my core realtor base and just kind of like cementing the deep relationship that I have with them. So they're not like messing around because they're not busy and taking these phone calls and taking these coffee appointments because they're getting prospected heavily. I work with some of the larger agents in Charlotte, which is both a blessing and a curse because they also have huge targets on their backs. And then, by definition, then that's my business that's being targeted as well. And so we call it Weekend Warrior. I've heard it called that a whole bunch, where I have never worked this hard on weekends my entire life, but I'm proactively reaching out and making myself available on the weekends. I'm reaching out before Thursday and Friday, not on Friday at 4 p.m. to check in and see how they're doing. On Thursday, I'm proactively reaching out to all my realtors, and I sort of cycle through a list of different things to talk about. But this is really just checking in like, hey, do you have any buyers for this weekend that I can help you with? I'm available if you need me. If they have a listing, I'm saying, hey, did you want to host an open house? I would love to host an open house with you. I'll get into that later, but I'm offering to make flyers for people that have payment options on them because payments are really, affordability is a big thing right now for listings. And then I'm also asking them if they understand, what a 2-1 buy down is, and if they've heard it, they know how it works and what it would cost their sellers to have a 2-1 buy down. That sort of proactive reach on Thursday, or maybe like first thing Friday morning, if I run out of time, has really cemented a lot of my like relationships where on the weekend when they already, when they're hosting an open house or they're getting called by other lenders, they already have the information that person's going to come to them with. And so I'm sort of like protecting my sphere by being proactive with a lot of this information.
So you're building a fence up around your current agent partnerships, right? Where so many of us are grabbing this thing right here, right? Every Monday morning, we're making those 40 cold calls. We're asking people to go out to business, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure you're doing similar things, but
yeah,
you're also focused on making sure those relationships that you have right now aren't going to go by, if TJ Barker calls up and it's like, hey, Mr. Agent, I've heard great things about you. You see you have an open house coming up this weekend. I can generate, 25 to 50 new leads off that open house for you this weekend. My team's going to work them for you and we'll hand over pre-approved buyers, right? That's a solid call.
Dude, it's awesome.
Right.
It's awesome.
But you're going to go ahead, but you're guarding against that.
Yeah. And whatever you have to give them of value, give it, offer it up. Even if you think they know it, offer it up. Be that person calling them. They probably have heard you say, I'll do lead generation on your listings 50 times, but that 51st time you don't call them, someone else does. And they might take them up on that offer, which is crazy because they're not that busy and they're just kind of scratching, right? Like truly. I heard a podcast a little while ago and Kai McBride was on it and he said that everyone's saying go back to the basics right now. But he's coaching and a lot of the coaches are talking about being innovative in that approach back to the basics. And he did the analogy of working out. It's like, walking, sit-ups and push-ups will get you in shape, but like intermittent fasting and CrossFit will probably get you there faster. And that's like, man, like just bells in my head, just like alarms sounding off, like that Monday morning calls, from 10 to 12, making like 50 phone calls. That is a broad way of reaching out to people. And I want to be, more like, precise and deep with how reaching out to folks. And so it's really about being innovative, I think, in how reaching out to people and coming to them with like true value. And I'm trying to think of like, what are things that I offer that are maybe a little bit better, a little bit different, or that these realtors need to know. And a lot of it's product, to be fair, in today's market, the 2-1 buy down, if you're not talking about that with your realtors, even if you don't even really have a chance to sell the product, someone else is going to call them and talk to them about 2-1 buy down. They're like, oh, that's so cool. Wish my guy would have told me about it because they don't know. I think that's just so perfect of a reason to reach out to somebody and just kind of cement that relationship. But I think being innovative with videos, with lead gen, with product and knowledge and information, and you might even be able to maybe dispel some of the myths of what's happening right now in terms of like people reaching out with these like bogus loan programs and things that just like don't make any sense because they're scratching just for like a little bit of business because they really are struggling right now.
That's big. That's big. Like take a look, make an inventory. What do you do? What can you offer? How can you differentiate yourself from your competition? Because the competition is coming after your relationship.
Big time. So I've been working a lot of open houses lately, and I come there with two things. One is an open house flyer. It's just got a payment estimate for a VA loan and for 10% down conventional. And then I'm also like working the open house there, and I'm trying to be friendly. That's deepening my relationship with the realtor. And it's also, my way of, hopefully getting a lead or something, hopefully I can work with some folks that aren't pre-approved or I can help them.
How are you going to these open houses? Are you researching them? Are you calling agents you work with?
It's primarily agents that I already work with. And it's me just offering to say, hey, do you need, like, what can I do to help? Like, we're business partners. I'm slow, you're slow. We're all trying to figure out how to make more money. What can I do to help you? Can I attend the open house, or can someone on my team attend, to be fair, because I'm not able to be at like 3 at the same time. But I'll tell you, at the open house, especially like some of the higher price points here in Charlotte, 1, 2, 3 different lenders show up with donuts and like a business card, a little goodie bag and all that. And that stuff works. It sounds like so silly, but like that stuff works just to like get a nice warm introduction to people. And I feel so strongly about, if you're not the one doing it, someone else is. And one of my loan officers, Michael, he went out and just grinded some open houses one weekend. I think he did like 8 or 9 in one weekend. And now one of his top realtor referral partners is someone that he met at an open house. They had lunch a few days later. They actually had lunch with a client the week after that. And now he's like cemented as like her like kind of like go-to person. He's very responsive, doesn't have a lot going on. So like he hasn't gone back out since then. And I'm like, you had so much success with one day of open houses. Do it again, right? And then do it again, and then do it again. Because that's, he's not comfortable doing videos online. He doesn't have a huge database to prospect. But like, go reach out to people, be proactive in those face-to-face relationships, and the try to get the deep relationships. I know a lot of people that do like a ton of videos. I know a lot of people that do a lot of like broad type of marketing, and they don't really have firm foundation for their business because they don't have those deep relationships that are so important and critical to like be successful. And so I think that like, going deep and coming at it from value and being consistent with that approach is super important.
So, I love marketing, right? I love lead generation. That's my thing. I've always said, when I started Leads Academy, or when I started doing leads, generating leads, it was never because I was trying to turn leads into loans. It was because I wouldn't make my 40 phone calls on a Monday. And I needed a reason to make that call. I needed something that separated myself from everyone else who was making that call. Every Thursday and Friday, I'd make my list all weekend long and get myself pumped up. I'm ready to go. I'm excited. I'm going to make that call. Every Monday, I'd call the 10 agents I knew. And then that other 30, I never made that call. Right. Always found a reason.
I know that feeling. We're all in the same boat, right? Call reluctance, right? So.
But that's why having, and you mentioned it, having something, a value add, something differentiates yourself, something to give you a reason to make that contact, whether it's on video, whether it's in person, whether it's going to an open house. I am firmly of the belief, and I really do think things change, by the end of first quarter in 2023. I really do believe that we do. I've read a ton of stuff, and maybe I'm a glass half full person. I really do think that that's when we see some relief. If you 90 days. This goes back to your loan officer. Sorry, my alarm keeps going off here. If you put in a hardcore 90 days of prospecting now, November, December, January, right? And you get some time off Thanksgiving, get some time off of Christmas, if you celebrate, wherever your holiday is, right? You can build your business such a huge, pipeline and relationship and a giant foundation for your business going into 23, the next 90 days, if you do what you spoke about with your loan officer going to an open house, or something that you're comfortable with your prospecting. If you work and build that fence up around your current relationships and protect them, that becomes, I always love the term foundation. I always talk about inverted pyramids. Most of us, when we generate our business, and you see this recently in the interest rate environment that we've been in, our business is built like this, right? It's an inverted pyramid. So this is our foundation piece right here.
Yep.
Rates go this way, right? Our business crashes, right? Because it's built on that inverted pyramid, which is all refinance business, all rates, not relationship driven, all transactional business.
Yep.
Where if you build your relationship with the standard pyramid, right now you got that strong foundation,
Right.
rates go one way, market shifts one way, your business isn't going to tumble. And I think that now you have that ability to build that strong, foundation,
Absolutely.
lock in your existing referral partners, prospect new ones. So, all right, man, we're at our 15-minute mark. Great stuff today. We appreciate you jumping on. Appreciate everyone for Survivor Series watching us. What do you want to leave MLO Net with? What can you share? What last piece of golden knowledge do you have for everyone?
Oh, geez, golden knowledge. I'm not sure if that exists up here, but I say if you're not in some sort of program where you're surrounded with other people that are being successful, find your program. So Leads Academy is a great thing to be a part of. The Veteran Mortgage Advisor Group is a great thing to be a part of. Those are ways that you can add value and deepen existing relationships and create new relationships right away. And then just really quick, just go above and beyond in terms of how you're treating people and how you're reaching out. Print out a pre-approval letter and send it to the client and hand sign it. Send thank you cards to past clients. Call your realtors with value add, and just do what you can to sort of be like top of mind and proactive with the real value thing. If you do all those things, there's no way you're not successful if you're following up with it.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Awesome. I would tack on to that.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to invest in your business right now. I know we're all trying to cut back on expenses. Me too, but so's your competition. So if you can put like you just said, things like a handwritten card.
Yep.
Right. And if you're not going to do it, sign up for a service that will, and spend $100 extra per month. Yep. Your flyers, sign up for Listing Booster, right? Or something that's going to allow you to automate this stuff so you can consistently deliver that value.
Yep.
Right there. Because then you'll be able to cut back in 3 months. Once the business turns around, you start getting some contracts in and you cement those relationships. So
100%
cool, man.
agree.
Awesome, brother. I appreciate you. Fish appreciates you. Thanks for stepping on. MLO Net, thank you so much. Hey, and if you want to join Survivor Series, this isn't supposed to just be, our normals. Zach Sullivan, John Thomas, Ashley Corville, right? We want the community to share. Tell us what you're doing. Tell us what you're doing to survive. Participate. We truly appreciate it. Everybody, thanks so much. Alec, I'll talk to you soon, man.
See you, TJ. Thank you.